What's up, guys, and welcome to your next episode of RageQuit Podcast. It's your boy Skinny Penis.
God damn it, Ryu! I told you not to do this shit, dude. Every fucking day, every day.
I'm sorry, I look down there and I get reminded. It's a slip of the tongue.
Jesus. Hey guys, welcome to RageQuit Podcast. We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff today, and I want to let you guys know before the episode starts that we do have social medias. Go ahead and subscribe if you are listening on YouTube. That'd be a lot. Please like our video. If you are listening on Spotify or Apple, thank you guys for the 6 listeners we have on Spotify, and also 2 listeners we have on Apple. I know, we're fucking putting on top of charts today. So, thank you guys so much about that, and before we do get into it, I really want to mention that we do have a $225 Amazon giveaway going on. The only way you enter is going on our YouTube, going down to the description, clicking on that link down below, and you just go ahead and go subscribe, and you join our Discord, and you have 2 entries. There's gonna be 2 winners. So yeah, let's get right into this. Alrighty, Ragers, let's hop into one of the most anticipated DLCs of the year, Destiny Beyond Light. So you guys, do you know anything, Ryu? I don't know much about the Destiny.
Ryu, help me.
Help me, Ryu.
Bless us with your knowledge.
The knowledge will be granted. So, following the events of Season of Arrivals...
Can you do all of this in the voice of the Crucible guy?
I don't know that I can match Lord Shaxx.
I just need you to drop that voice about 15 octaves.
Following the events of the Season of Arrivals. I don't think that's going to work.
It's okay, do your thing.
Alright, so following the events of the Season of Arrivals, in which multiple pyramid ships begin invading the solar system, a new power is born out of the ancient pyramid ships above Jupiter's icy moon Europa. A dark presence emerges from this, and underneath the banner of the fallen Kell of Darkness, Aramis, the ship stealer. The stranger, last seen at the end of the original Destiny campaign, calls Eris Morn and the Drifter to the Jovian moon to investigate this ship. The Exo-Stranger explains that she comes from a different timeline, where the darkness has actually won. Just as she has provided aid to the Guardian against the Vex 6 years ago, she will return to the present timeline to help the darkness from claiming victory again. This is going to be a very intense storyline and plot taking over Destiny 2, which leads into new subclasses, new aspects, and kind of an open-ended story where it just kind of opens up so much new content for Destiny 2.
Yeah, like me and you were just talking about, like, you know, like at the end of Shadowkeep, if anyone's ever played that, because I've been playing Destiny with Ryu and kind of catch up with the lore. Like at the end of Shadowkeep, you know, Eris touches that statue in one of the pyramids, and it like grants her like a dark power, like a corruption, and that's where it kind of left off at, and we don't know anything more after that until the new DLC Beyond Light comes out. But we have a lot of like theories about that.
Yeah, so one of those theories that comes from that exact thing is the eventual corruption of maybe even Zavala. Something that a lot of people have poked around on YouTube or Reddit even. You'll notice that through that you can see her ghost, or that fragment that she carries with her, kind of form corruption, and she touches it again and that corruption leaks to her instead, and maybe she carries that to the tower, or whatever the case may be. There's a lot that could come from that.
Yeah, there's just so much, and you know, you talked about Zavala as well, maybe getting corrupted as well, because you know how he's changed his personality since Forsaken, and then it went to, you know, after Forsaken, he's just kind of been different ever since the Red Legion.
This shit hit different.
Yeah, so with the Red Legion attack and the eventual loss of Cade 6, you can definitely see a change in character from Zavala. He went from being this overwhelmingly powerful force to this almost depressed being who sits on a rail staring off at the Traveler.
Kind of a bitch.
Yes, for lack of better words.
Yeah, he's been kind of a dick recently. Like, he's just been kind of like,
fuck off.
Like, especially like with Cade 6 when he didn't even want to go help him. Like, not go help him, but go kill Uldren, right? Uldren Solve. It was not it. I think it was Uldren Solve, wasn't it? The one that had the Ace of Spades. So he didn't even want to go kill him. He just wanted to kind of stay here and make sure nothing else happens. And, you know, of course, Ikora, she was like, "Yo, where's your balls at, Zavala? Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, what are we gonna go? We gonna go get one of our Vanguard guys, or we gonna, like, you know, we're just gonna sit here and do nothing, you know?" Because
he's automatically a power character regardless of how he acts, because Titan Master Race.
Titan Master.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let's not talk about the combined Titan IQ of 19.
Titan Master Race.
All right. So the DLC comes out in November 10th. We don't have any trailers that kind of spoil much besides the one trailer they announced. But that was about it. I mean, we don't really know what's going to happen, so it kind of opens our minds to kind of making all these theories. I think one day me and Ryu were sitting in the Tower of Destiny thinking for like 2 hours and just spitting facts of what could happen, aka corruption. Could be Zavala killing Ares, and then we had to kill Zavala. Could open up a new Titan race, so not a new Titan race, but a new Titan Vanguard guy. Or it could just change the whole story. So like this, I feel like this DLC is going to change, Destiny for the next few years, honestly. Like this is going to be ever since it's just going to open up so much opportunities, and even like adding that new race. Aren't they adding the new race? I'm pretty sure.
I haven't heard anything about a new race.
Subclass. It was a subclass.
Yeah, there will be.
That's what I was going to ask. Is do we know what the subclasses look like? What the abilities look like for each character?
I do actually.
Ooh.
I'm assuming you'd like me to start with Titans, Mr. Titan Master Race.
Absolutely.
So the Titans' new subclass will be called the Behemoth. As bombastic as ever, the new Titan Behemoth subclass just sort of transforms their little tiny Titan hands into big old fucking icebergs.
It's like I'm never going to be able to.
Don't make fun of my Titan hands because I have a really sturdy shoulder that will end you every time.
Strong boy.
It seems a little bit underwhelming compared to the Warlock staff or the dual commas that are given to the Hunters. But given how closely the Behemoth seems to resemble the Titan Striker subclass, it shows that it'll have a very reckless offensive power. So a lot of the other stuff really won't matter against the Titan as usual.
Mm-hmm.
That's just different. It just seems like it's going to open up a lot more gameplay. Like with it could change everything. And also, like, I know I got an alert today on Facebook from Destiny. I heard they brought back Iron. What's it called? Iron something.
Iron Banner.
Iron Banner.
Yeah.
And then they opened up a few more things. A few more like missions for EAZ or something like that. Like it's just insane. And like I know we had to help one of our friends get the Solstice gear because I know Solstice ended this past weekend, and that's a bummer. But that was just an easy pull for easy 1020, 1050. I mean, I did my Solstice and got 1050. But I feel like what Ryu was saying, like, starting from the beginning when you guys started the farm and stuff like that, then progressing to the tower, I feel like it's just, they made it a little too easy just to become like a top level player. Like Ryu, within a month, I became a 1060. Like, it's just, and you're 1066. Like, how is that? I don't know. It's just, luckily I had you playing with me, but I feel like it's just too easy for the beginning of the game, and hopefully they change something in the next DLC. Like when it comes to looting stuff and the progression, like the quests. I know it took me forever to learn how to get quests and to follow them and track them, and yeah.
So the thing that I'm interested about, Ryu, is you had mentioned in the past that they're getting rid of the Crucible. So what are they doing for people who play so much PvP? What is the new draw for them, or are they just not going to give a shit about the game anymore?
So this is all widened out speculation across Reddit and many other social media websites that they may be getting rid of the Crucible.
Oh, so that's not confirmed.
No, nothing has been confirmed on that so far.
Okay, because to be honest, because I know there's such a huge audience of people who only play Destiny PvP. I don't see that. I don't see that happening.
My brother is part of that niche. He plays a lot of the Crucible on both games.
Yeah, the Crucible sounds fun. I know you told me something the other day about Gambit. The whole collision, the whole colliding thing with the Gambit Prime and Gambit regular.
So with the introduction of the Destiny Content Vault, they're going to be taking out Gambit Prime and merging it with Gambit as it stands to kind of create a new kind of Gambit. They haven't really released a lot of details on that yet, and I'm very interested to see where they're going to take it because I personally love Gambit.
Yeah, and we had so many theories around that, right? Remember, because whole Shen and like Drifter thing, how we think Drifter is kind of like becoming like a guy using. Well, so far our theory was Drifter's using these motes to create Taken and like Primevals, and he's gonna use them and build an army. That's what me and you're like. I don't know if we're like high that night or what, dude, but we were just sitting here talking about that all night, and we came up with a huge like theory around that, like how Drifter in the future could become like a raid boss with all the Primevals that he summons, with us depositing motes for him, because Shin looks down upon us working with Drifter, but he doesn't know. So that could be a big thing too in the future as well. That could be a big play.
Yeah, and as we expect, they're coming out with a lot of new content with the content vault. So the introduction of the Vault of Glass again, and maybe even one more raid.
Yo, what?
Yeah, they're reintroducing the Vault of Glass. It's going to be spectacular. I don't know if they're going to be making any changes to it, but it's
I don't
coming back.
need to. That's straight up enough to get me to want to play the game again.
Yeah, this DLC is opening a lot more. I feel like this DLC is going to bring in like thousands of more people into this game. Opening up a new concept to it, like you said. And some people don't want to play Gambit because me and you always get like hackers with people that just one shot snipe you in the air when they barely can even see you, shooting you through walls. And then you got Prime that me and you've never played because you said it's horseshit. So I agree with you on that, probably most likely because you played the game way longer than me. I feel like some people are going to be probably coming back because they're like, oh, Gambit's actually going to get reworked. And so maybe even Crucible. Who knows Crucible? It's a theory right now, but not theory, but it hasn't been proven yet through articles. But people are going to be seeing that also with the new subclass that you said. Everyone wanting to play the Titan. The Titan.
As usual.
And it's just going to open up so much more gameplay. And I feel like people that are Destiny 1 fans did quit within the first couple DLCs of Destiny 2 because, like you said, when you get to that point right now, you're 60 days away from the new DLC and you're literally just sitting there doing nothing because you have nothing to do besides maybe work up your artifact. I mean...
Unless you're me. I barely got through the tutorial and I just haven't picked it back up again. Otherwise, I would have probably gotten into it.
Believe it or not, if I didn't have Rye teaching me the game, I probably would have gave up within the first day. Like, honestly, I didn't know where the track quests. It's a great game. It's a great game ever since Ryu taught me, but they need to make the game easier for new players. Like, not new players, easier for new players. I mean, like, I feel like they need to make it more complex. Like, with the quests, make sure you don't skip. Because I didn't even do Forsaken. I didn't do any other DLC before Shadowkeep. I finished Shadowkeep, the recent DLC, before I even did anything else. So I skipped, like, 80% of the lore. And if you didn't play D1, you're pretty much lost at that point.
Well... Oversimplification can also keep people from joining in on the game because they might just want to be able to play through it at their own pace.
That's what
the
they
lore,
did.
The lore in Destiny 1, though, was kind of like, okay, you killed bad guy, go kill more bad guy.
Yeah.
And then when Ryu told me about Cade, like, Cade was, like, my favorite player, and then I got in that cutscene for, like, the vault of, what's it called, the bad guys or whatever. They went down there into that one mission where you have to start it to get, to go kill Aldrin, to get, the Ace of Spades or whatever. I did it the other day. And just watching how badass Cade 6 was and just seeing, like, the funniness. I never got the experience, especially through D1. And since you said he was one of the main characters in D1. And then just killing him off. I watched, like, that one girl do that reaction, how she said it wasn't fair, exactly what you said. And then just seeing that emotion was just like, this game is great. It gave me the same emotion as Halo did. It gave me the same emotion as, Call of Duty does. Like, it just makes me want to play. But at the same time, killing one of the best, like, main characters, Cade 6, out of nowhere just really threw me off, especially... And, the beginning of the game, like you said, like, it was, like, literally right at the beginning, the first DLC, it just was insane to me. And I feel like they might actually, we talked about this yesterday, right, with Ranson, how they may make, like, a Cade 7 or whatever, but you did say it, and the developers did say that they aren't bringing Cade 6 back, which is understandable, but they didn't say anything about bringing a Cade 7. But like you said, the golden days technology is gone. So
the weird thing about it, and we do need to fill up that Hunter Vanguard spot. Seeing Cade come back would bring a lot of fans joy, but that would kind of overdo what Bungie really intended. They wanted us to understand there were consequences to every action that a Guardian performed.
Yes.
They wanted us to have a bad guy who was human-sized that we could learn to hate, someone who could interact with us as much as we could interact with him. And that was kind of their ultimate goal. But to see the Hunter Vanguard slot filled is to understand that the Hunter Vanguard has this thing called a dare. Cade 6's dare was whoever could kill him would take his place, which was Uldren Sov. To see Uldren Sov come back to life later on after the raid, we know that Uldren Sov could very well be attempting to take his place as the Vanguard.
Yeah, but it'd be hard to, like, persuade Ikora and Zavala to allow that, especially as he is the one that killed K6.
That's Cade 6's dare, though. That's the rules of it. So it wouldn't be up to anyone but Cade.
Yeah, and what I liked about that is how he had, like, his whole, like, where he gave out his will, and, like, you could go get his stuff like you did the other day. Like, we got the Risk Runner. That was awesome. I loved how they added that to the game, like especially adding his like personality into the game even after he died was just something that like kind of like hurt at the same time, especially watching his last stand, cinematic. But it also did teach me that once you lose your ghost, you're done. Like if you die, you're done. And I didn't know anything about that until I watched that. So, it was insane, and just watching how good he was and like how cocky he was, like you said, it does show like you do go on these like, especially for me, I go and I like to punch everyone as a hunter. It shows that like, yeah, like I might like go to get, everyone goes and gets cocky like that, but like you said, someone that's so small could do that much impact. It's insane, especially Shin versus Drifter 1-2. Drifter is one of the 9, right? So it's just Shin and all that, he's just a powerful dude, especially since we did a one mission where he shot 4 bullets of his golden gun into that guy's chest where he got that catalyst.
Just eviscerated him.
It just, seeing how powerful you are, but at the same time you could get taken out in an instant, over something so stupid like a sniper to your ghost. It's just it shows that there's consequences and that Guardians aren't as powerful as they think they are. The only thing that Guardians rely on is the light. And if they don't have the light, then they're nothing.
And that kind of takes us back all the way to the Red War. And one of the best dialogues that have ever happened in the game was when Dominus Gall said directly to your character, "You have just simply lost your fear of death."
Yeah, I remember that because I watched that cutscene with you. It's just... It opens up so much stuff, and it makes me mad how they got rid of Cade. But at the same time, like you said, they got to progress. They got to evolve into a new era. They've been living in that part for 3 DLCs now, or 2 DLCs now, and now they got to move on. Which I'm hoping this DLC is like that push. That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna get that push to a new, to a new life, to a new Destiny 2, environment, atmosphere. But yeah, we talked a lot about that, guys, and since it's already we talked a lot about that, we're gonna go ahead and leak on to the next game that's gonna be coming out right after Destiny, which is the 13th, and everyone probably already knows that, and we talked about it last week. But Call of Duty Cold War, we're gonna be talking about that now, just a little bit, not too much. But they did come out with huge announcements last week, and also there was a leak. The Facebook Streamer of the Year, the boy Doug is Raw. He did stream for 30 minutes of multiplayer, and it looks like fucking shit. Let's be honest here. I didn't really think it was interesting. I don't know about you guys. I want to hear your guys' opinion on it here in a little bit. But not to mention, there is a big thing that I've left out just now that I want you guys to know that I did find out last week, is that there is no prestige. Just like Modern Warfare.
That's annoying.
Because, they got to make their money somehow. Not, charging you $70 for a game in the future is not going to cut it. So they need to make a battle pass. So that's what they're doing. They're integrating the prestige segment into a battle pass like they did in Modern Warfare. So you're most likely going to get to...
It works so well with Black Ops 4.
It does. But I didn't really like the whole battle pass in Modern Warfare, to be honest with you.
I don't like Modern Warfare.
Yeah. It just did bring...
Yeah, we heard...
Getting to level 55 and then going to 155, and then after 3 months you lose that progress, and then you're like, wow, I'm back to 55 again. It's too repetitive. And I hope instead of doing the 55 to 155, they do like progressing through levels, not pony back. I wish you can get to like level 1000 or something like that. Like you could in like, what was it, Black Ops 2? Or like not Black Ops 2. It was like
with pretty much every Call of Duty since they've added Prestige Master, what you do is you go through 10th Prestige and then you hit Master Prestige, and Master Prestige has 1,000 levels in it.
Yeah, and it's just like I wish they go back to that instead of doing the whole battle pass. But like what Ryu told me the other day, it's just that's just the way they're pulling money in now. Especially since you have to pay $10 every 3 months to just get something that you would get progressing through prestiges. Like instead of doing a battle pass, why don't they just add like loot drops like they did in Advanced Warfare? It would make more sense to get guns. But at that point, in Advanced Warfare, those gun skins, they actually do a difference to your gun damage, which I hate. That's why I hate about Advanced Warfare. But I feel like
that seems really bad. Yeah,
I feel like that's just something that they should do. But instead of making like the damage like different through skins, I think they should just add skins instead of just because people purchase skins all the time, like CS:GO. I mean, it doesn't add any difference, but people will literally spend millions of dollars on throughout billions. Actually, I think CS:GO's made billions of dollars through their case systems. $2.50 for a key, and then you also have to buy like a 30-cent case or even get it in drops. But I mean, people would do that, and they would make more money than just doing a battle pass and just adding prestiges. Like you would get this gun through a prestige 2, level 34. or something like that. But that's just my personal opinion. What do you guys think?
I mean, it's kind of universally looked down upon anything that's like pay to win. People really don't take it too well, and I mean, for good reason. So I'm really hoping they don't go with that kind of route, because every time I've seen that happen, everybody's willing to put down the company for doing it.
Yeah, like you had a perfect thing right there. Like, the pay to win. I feel like the battle pass is not really a pay to win, mostly because even if you don't have the battle pass, you still unlock, like, let's say, like, the 45 was unlocked at level 20 something. I think it was level 25, even if you didn't have battle pass. But you missed out on double XP tokens, you missed out on free tokens, you missed out on emblems, cool skins. And it makes you feel like, hey, I'm poor, I can't afford this, so I can't get cool things like everyone else can. Like, I feel like that's like a big thing that I was like that. Call of Duty was never supposed to be like that. That was supposed to be just FIFA. FIFA or like any EA game.
Considering all the Call of Duty games stay at 60 for like years after. I think even like a year ago, I went to go suggest World at War to one of my friends, went on the Steam page and saw that it's still $60, and I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, like Black Ops 1 is still $60 on Xbox online.
Yeah, 2, and all the DLCs are still incredibly expensive. Like, if I don't have all the DLCs for all the games, because I'm not going to give them $200 more for an 8-year-old game.
True, that's true, and even GTA is the same way, but GTA still puts out content. But the thing is, like, GTA is kind of irrelevant these days. They added DLC, but they only put like 2 missions in for you to do, or like for like a heist that you could redo. But at the same time, you have to purchase all these things that you have to do through the other heists that you have to run millions of times, and it's just like incorporating the whole money.
It's
system.
Also a really grindy game, and it has been out since 2013. So it's safe to say almost everybody owns GTA. I think I looked at a thing.
I have a couple copies.
Yeah, and I mean, they gave it out through Epic Games not that long ago, but the game, I'm pretty sure Grand Theft Auto is one of the most top grossing franchises, even over Star Wars and all that, of all time.
Yeah, it's just, I feel like Call of Duty, when it comes to that, the pay to win aspect, I don't think they're ever going to get to that point, but they might. I mean, EA has only been to that point that's actually pay to win. A few other games on Steam, Steam games, app games, Apple games, those things are just meant to have. You pay 99 cents to get rid of ads, like stuff like that. But I feel like they should just add the prestige system, just get drops for skins, and then they make more money through that way than they would doing $10 a month on Battle Pass. They would get more people would spend more money on skins than they would just doing on Battle Pass.
Allow me to play the devil's advocate then.
Mm-hmm.
I strongly believe that the Battle Pass being implemented into the game isn't such a negative thing, so much so as a high positive for people who don't get as much time to play the game. So they're giving them an option to buy their levels and get the content that they would otherwise have to spend all of their free time playing to earn.
That's true.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it's always good to have options.
The reason why I'm so mad about the Battle Pass is I love prestiging. Like, there's no other better feeling than knowing that you hit level 55, 60, 50, whatever level you get to. Because Black Ops 1 was 50 when you prestiged. What was it? Modern Warfare series, Modern Warfare 2 and 3, like it was level 55 or something like that. I just miss those aspects. Just be like, oh yeah, I'm going to restart, but I get to keep these things and keep my levels and my guns, but I have to re-unlock them. So it gives me more grinding than it would be, grinding for a battle pass that you get something that you don't even want, like a cool emblem,
And I mean, for someone like me, I never prestiged on any game, any of the Call of Duty games. I never played them that often because I just didn't dedicate enough time to them.
Oh, I prestiged the shit out of all the CODs.
But the good thing about like that method, I guess, would be if you really did want to just drop some money to get some of the stuff, you could do that. So it is good to have options. But like, for people that want to sit there and actually grind it out for that long, it is kind of, I don't quite understand why they can't have both. I really don't.
Yeah, and like, since we talked more about the thing, I also want to talk about more of like the leak as well. So, like the multiplayer and stuff that you guys watched. I'm sure you guys have already watched the leak, the 30-minute leak of the multiplayer. It was all right. It was okay. I just feel like the game has, like, when I watched it, I feel like the game has the same gameplay as Black Ops 3. And especially, it just doesn't look appealing to me. It looks like another one of those advanced kind of looking, futuristic looking old games. Like they did with Black Ops 2. Like Black Ops 2 is supposed to be like 5 years from now, and it looked futuristic as hell. Especially like at that time when we played it, because we weren't used to the graphics. We were coming from Modern Warfare 3. But I feel like the games now are progressing through the engines that they're making now. Like everyone thinks that, Call of Duty, I believe, I don't care about the engine that they're made on. Mostly because I don't care about graphics like that point. I mean, story modes, yes, but a multiplayer, I care about the guns. I care about the way it plays, the appealing aspect to it. Is it good, leveling? Is it good getting kills? Is it, is it hard to kill the other team? Do they have special effects to them like Black Ops 3, their specialties, but they don't have specialties, which we mentioned last episode. It just doesn't look appealing to me. And the maps are what's going to make it too. I've seen that one map that he leaked. Didn't look appealing to me either. The map was a little too dark. It looked like, I feel like I was playing Call of Duty Ghost, which I love Call of Duty Ghost, but at the same time,
it was at nighttime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't like the nighttime aspect.
Speaking of that futuristic scenario, I do see it reminds me of Black Ops 2. But it seems like it was kind of in I know there was a map in Black Ops 2 that was also like a casino map. That's what it kind of reminds me of, with all of those glowing neon signs and stuff. So that could just be what they're going with, like a high-end district, considering it was a protect the VIP type game mode.
Well, it's also not futuristic. I thought it's back in the 60, 70, 80 era.
They did have a lot of neon signs.
Yeah, it wasn't futuristic. Like, that's what I was saying. It looked futuristic for an older game, like a Cold War game, 80s,
yeah.
90s. And it just felt like it should be like a Black Ops 2 feel, or like a Black Ops 1 feel, like an older kind of not too bright of colors. Maybe added a little bit, like, I don't know. I feel like the graphics are what I was mostly talking about at that point. Like,
I think it's because it's a lot more jarring, since when you remember Black Ops and the time period when Black Ops 1 came out, graphics weren't, even close to what maybe the modern warfare does now. So having modern graphics in a game set at the same time as an older game just kind of sets your mind to confuse.
I think
That's true.
I think I'm just fucking old. Like, I think I'm just
Too old.
I think I'm just like, I feel so shitty talking about this, because like it's like they're progressing as a company, and they're progressing as like the games. But I just dude, I can't, like, the last decade was just the beginning of the last decade. I just when I look at 2020 and 2010, I'm thinking of Cold War from Black Ops 1. I'm thinking, like, I'm comparing this game to Black Ops 1, because Black Ops 1 was one of my favorite Call of Duties. I grind that so many times. I would play it nonstop. I love the theme music. I would literally listen to it on Spotify if I could all day. I just feel like I'm getting old for it, and I feel like they're trying to appease the older audience because they're bringing it back to those days. But at the same time, it's just, we don't care because it just doesn't look good like it used to. Like
Call of Duties. So much better 10 years ago.
I feel like with Modern Warfare, they took the whole, because people bitched about it being too fast paced, flying around, blah blah blah, and I think they took that comment too literally. And because I'm watching the gameplay right now, and it seems like they've slowed it down so much that it just doesn't even feel like Call of Duty, like what the last 15 years of Call of Duty. Yeah. It's an entirely different game. It's slower, and it's like, I don't know. And then the other point that I my mind just got sidetracked, so I didn't bring it up earlier. But like, for me, when I play COD, it's all about the progression. So when you were talking about the battle pass, something I love to do is go through and get all of the camos. But that's just not a feasible thing to do anymore unless you're a Call of Duty content creator.
Yeah, and you have to spend $10 just to get the cool camos. And when back in the day of Black Ops 1, you would literally just have to progress, do challenges, do contracts, just progress through prestiges. But when I also can mention that the prestiges would also, I could see their whole problem, because when you add prestige system to the game, you're adding hacking. Like, you're gonna have people that try to do the whole theater mode thing, like they did Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2. You're gonna bring hackers trying to you're gonna have to bringing a whole hacking group into trying to get master prestige within the first week or two from just doing that. And
that doesn't necessarily stop at just prestiges though, because people can still go max level.
Yeah. And it's just one of those things I can understand, but at the same time, it's such a big bummer, especially since they're trying to bring the Black Ops 1 aesthetic back. It's just really disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just be lucky they aren't adding loot boxes like they did in World War II, which is another game that when they brought it back to an older game, but like revised, some people weren't too happy to go all the way back to that. But honestly, considering the gameplay was, I would say, 40% just sliding, I'm not too big of a fan of the slide feature anymore, as much as I liked the dolphin dive in the original game.
Yeah,
Dolphin Dive was just goofy. It was funny.
Dolphin Dive was just
Yeah,
funny.
it was a good.
And that's why I loved about it. But going on from that, I wanted to also talk about this too. I was joking earlier when I said, Doug is Raw as the Facebook streamer of the year, of course, because it was just a joke, whatever. But do you guys think like the repercussions of him streaming the 30-minute multiplayer was really brought about the way that they did? They took his sponsorships. He'll never ever get a leak of Call of Duty ever again in his life. The guy only averaged like 200 to 300 viewers on Facebook anyways. Like, was it that big of a leak to the point that they've done that? I mean, I've seen Nade Shot. I've seen people, big Call of Duty competitive people leak it before. Like IW, I think it was one of the Envy guys or something like that leaked about 15 minutes of multiplayer. But like, it's just, I think the way they approached the aspect of punishing him was a little too hard. I mean, I understand the punishment if the guy is like, huge, like competitively, like someone that people look up to, the people that actually watch. Let's say like Dr. Disrespect averages like 70K viewers, something like that on YouTube, and he did 30 minutes of the gameplay on accident. I understand at that point, but there was only 200, 300 people watching the guy at that point. But
so the way I see it is typically when you get access to something like that, you sign an NDA, right? So you are bound by contract agreeing not to share anything that you see, not to make gameplay on it, not to do any of that. And the other thing is, how do you accidentally stream something? How do you?
Yeah, I saw those headlines, and you can't really accidentally.
You have to pretty intentionally like open up a stream software and start broadcasting.
Well, like for me, I have a hotkey for streaming and recording on OBS, and maybe he accidentally hit
you
the
have to have it open.
Hotkey.
Yeah, you gotta have OBS open.
Yeah, maybe he had it open to record. Maybe he was recording to upload within a month, within a couple weeks. There is a grace period. Like they can't upload 2-3 days before the game comes out. They're allowed to. They do it every year.
They have to be authorized by the company themselves.
Well, yeah, I mean,
time.
he probably already was authorized. He got the game way before everyone. Like Allier and stuff like that. They always pre-record. Maybe he was gonna record the gameplay or whatever, but actually click the stream button. It could have been an accident.
I've got some pre-recorded footage that I'll never be able to show the light of day of Gearbox Software has been developing a game called Project 1v1, and I got keys to play that game when it came out, and there was an NDA, and in the contract of the NDA, you can't even show old builds of the game at all, like at any point in the future.
Yeah, exactly.
When the game comes out. Yeah. So it depends on the NDA.
Yeah. I just feel like it could have been an accident. It could have been whatever. I guess we'll never know because they kind of been keeping it on a DL. They've been deleting articles online and stuff like that of the leaks. They've been their PR has been working really hard. It's just like one of those things. I don't know. I couldn't really tell you if it was an accident or on purpose or if like that was an extreme thing. Ruining some guy's whole career over something. But like you said, the NDA could have been really, very big. Especially for the new Call of Duties. Especially since this is the most anticipated Call of Duty in this decade. This is going to change this decade's Call of Duty, hopefully. But yeah, just going off of that, we got the next game we're going to come out too, because we've been talking about Call of Duty a long time, especially since we had last episode. We want to move on to something else. So So I don't know if you guys are ready for this, but we have all around the world's best, most waiting game. This developers are known for inconsistency, but always pull through at the end, except for Origins. But the future game of the year is going to be Valhalla. So we're going to be talking about Valhalla. What do you guys think about it?
Based off what I've seen, and this is coming from a long time Assassin's Creed fan, right? They're bringing back key aspects that Assassin's Creed has lost. And depending on how well they implement these into the game, I am excited to see if it is a game I will like. I enjoyed Origins. It was new. It was a new taste, new turn. I thought Odyssey was boring strictly because it was basically like a super DLC of Origins. To me, it felt like the same thing, and it was just on a much grander scale. I liked the characters. I thought Alexios and I can't remember the girl's name, but I thought playing with them and the uniqueness that they had, especially compared to Syndicate and how they handled that, I think the uniqueness of those characters was really cool. And I think the builds were a lot more fleshed out compared to Origins, but it felt like a lot more of the same thing to me. The biggest thing for me that I'm waiting on seeing is one the Hidden Blade. They're adding back the Hidden Blade, to my understanding, and it's supposed to be an instant kill again, like it has been in all of the Assassin's Creed up to this point.
Wait, hold on. They removed the Hidden Blade at some point?
There hasn't been a true Hidden Blade mechanic in a while, other than like cutscenes.
That's kind of crazy, because that was like one of the most defining things.
Yeah, that's a defining thing. So I've heard they're bringing back the Hidden Blade, and it's supposed to be an instant kill again. So if that's true, that'll be a big deal for me personally. And then also,
like a Vikings time.
I love Vikings, so I'm kind of excited about that.
Yeah, but like, I mean, the Vikings weren't really, as far as I know, very stealthy people.
Well, no, but it's all about the order, right? Like it's the order of assassins throughout history. It's not necessarily that culture of people is an entire group of assassins.
Yeah, this is supposed to be one of the most bloody like Assassin's Creed games coming out. Like the Vikings are very, very, very bloody people.
They're
very
ruthless.
they're ruthless. So it's going to be bringing that aspect of difficulty to the game now, because there hasn't been another game that's been overhyped since I would say Black Flag. I remember Black Flag was freaking way hype like before it came out. That was the last time I ever seen someone actually really, people actually really excited and also have good reviews. I love the Black
Flag. That's
one
of the few times the overhype actually like followed through too. Yeah. People love Black Flag,
and it brought in that aspect. He was a pirate, like the main character. He wasn't even an assassin. He killed an assassin, took his personality, and then tried to basically get a profit off of it. If I'm right, but I'm gonna be
honest. I'm not the person to talk to about deep lore. I just play the games.
Yeah, and I played Brotherhood. I love that. You go into the game, you're assassin.
Oh yeah,
all that good stuff. Brotherhood was probably the best like Assassin's Creed to myself. But that's the last game I ever I only played those two games. I only played Brotherhood and Black Flag. I never played Origins, but I've watched like reviews. I've seen gameplay, and I've seen that Origins just wasn't building that expectations that everyone has of the Assassin's Creed franchise. And that's what I'm excited about the Valhalla, because I've never seen everyone blow up over an Assassin's Creed game until now, because I haven't seen it in 6-7 years since Black Flag came out or whatever.
Dude, a lot of people did hype up Odyssey.
Yeah, Odyssey was that, but it just wasn't a Fallout 3 game like Coblin said. Like Black Flag was probably the last one that probably most likely went through with the good gameplay.
So I'm definitely in the minority. People generally responded very well to Odyssey. I just felt like it was a lot of the same thing in Origin, like almost too much of the same thing that Origins was. Just a huge, super big map. Basically, like the way I think of it is, think of taking Skyrim, right? Like the game itself, and then adding like 15 DLCs and then putting it on a different map with the exact same gameplay mechanics. And that's basically what it was.
Making it an open world, non-linear game changes the entire game.
It changes the feel, yeah.
So kind of like the Fallout aspect, Fallout 76, you're bringing in the same mechanics and kind of like the same thing as like Fallout 4. Fallout 4 was the best Fallout game ever created. Like Fallout, I love Fallout.
Ooh, no! that's a hot take.
I love Fallout 4.
Fallout New Vegas is what I pretty much hear people love. I'm with you, Huddy. I love Fallout 4. It's my favorite, but I think Fallout New Vegas is the fan fave.
The reason why Fallout New Vegas was such a fan fave is because everyone broke it.
Well, also because it was written by the people who made the original two games, which are absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I can't say I've ever played the original two.
Oh, they're so fucking good. They're worth going back and playing, even though they're kind of dated by now.
I believe Valhalla will take a big spot in the Game of the Year, mostly because God of War 4 taken the Game of the Year in 2018. The best game I ever watched. I didn't play because I couldn't afford the $60 game because I was in college. I watched it, dude. Awesome gameplay, awesome game. But I think Valhalla, if it sticks with its true path, like you said, and it sticks with the good gameplay, with the good storyline, I could tell you right now, I guarantee it's gonna be one of the Game of the Years for 2020.
I'll tell you right now, though, if Cyberpunk lives up to the hype, that's gonna be Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Since you brought that up, we're gonna go ahead and go right into Cyberpunk. So next up, we'll be talking about the most pushed back Game of the Year of the century, the one with the most handsome, sexy daddy of all, Keanu Reeves. Cyberpunk 77 was made by CD Projekt, aka the ones who made Witcher. I said cue the toss a coin to your Witcher because I love that song. So, but we don't have to sing it. CD Projekt has also made their own engine called Red Engine. They've been using it since Witcher 2. Honestly, the graphics were awesome in the Witcher series. If you guys ever played them, Coblin, I know you do a lot of game series. Definitely do Witcher 3, The Hunt. that's gonna be a good game for your YouTube channel. I love that game. It's
That's
so
a
good.
big ass game to make a
Yeah,
series out
it's a
of.
big ass game.
You
But
definitely
hey,
gotta donate some hours. For that.
future game though, man. I'm putting that out there, and it's just
Because
a good
I'm probably
game
going to
overall.
end up streaming Cyberpunk, honestly, just because
Yeah.
it's supposed to be so big.
But yeah, going back to that, they use their own engine called Red Engine. It's a beautiful engine. It's honestly flawless. It's compared to the real engine, and the only people that use it is actually CD Projekt, and they've been using it since The Witcher 2. So they're actually using that for Cyberpunk 2077, and yeah, the shit's about to be fire, hopefully. And I don't know about
Hopefully,
Cyberpunk.
man. I hope it lives up.
Yeah, I don't know much about Cyberpunk, but I do know the theme song is gonna be "Hey You" by Pink Floyd. That's definitely gonna be one of those. Hey you, out there all alone. But yeah, so let's go ahead and talk about some Cyberpunk. Since Cyberpunk was actually one of the most hyped games coming out, but it's been pushed back the most times I've ever seen in my life, like 6 times.
Which
I feel.
I personally see as a good sign because it
Yes.
means that because there's a lot of companies that are like, we're not going to push our game back because this is our deadline, and then they push out a shit half-ass game. And I said before that, like my roommate in college, we were talking about it way back, in January, and we were both like, I would rather they push this game back to 2022 and make it what they want us to see instead of release it right now and it's dog shit.
That's what I feel about Call of Duty. I feel like Call of Duty shouldn't come out every year. I feel like they should. I feel like Infinity Ward, and all that should take like 2 years. Instead of doing it every year, I would rather have a good Call of Duty than having one every year. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm really kind of hoping this doesn't turn into a Half-Life 3 situation.
Yeah.
Or a Half-Life Andromeda situation.
What do you think, Ryan?
Well,
I know
Cyberpunk
you've been
is
looking at
close
it.
to launch now.
I know you've been looking at Cyberpunk, Ryan. What do you think of it, man?
I'm extremely excited for this game, and for one major thing. I mean, it's going to have the man Keanu Reeves in it.
I
Daddy!
actually don't know much about that part of it. I didn't even know Keanu Reeves was really in the game.
Bro, that was like their whole reveal.
Yeah.
Really? I didn't
The
even
main
look at
character.
that.
It's going to be
I'm looking at
incredible.
gameplay.
I love you. I love you.
You.
So here's the big news, though, as I'm sitting here looking some stuff up, is that they are adding in microtransactions to multiplayer specifically.
Mhm.
Huh.
So
And
tell me
they-
a little bit more about Cyberpunk. I wasn't one of those people that was really hyped for it. I didn't really care for it. Not gonna lie. What is the whole aspect of Cyberpunk? Let everyone know so we can all get our hands on it because I don't know anything about Cyberpunk.
I
So-
mean, you go right ahead.
So
All right.
it's a dystopian society based on a tabletop type game called what was the original called? Cyberpunk 20 was it 2076? I can't remember what it was, but tabletop game, sort of like I would say Borderlands, how Borderlands has all the companies that are kind of running the world at the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's kind of like. It's a dystopian society where all these companies are gorging down, and there's 3 different classes you get to play as. And I'm not sure, from what I've seen, it looks like they all have different stories, but the city's just so huge that it can accommodate all of them.
You see, I'm so excited about that because I know CD Projekt. They're like top of the line, just like Naughty Dog. Making those great games, but also taking their time and actually making the games good. Naughty Dog's known for The Last of Us, and also I'm pretty sure they're known for Uncharted, right?
Yeah.
So those Uncharted series are actually one of my most favorite series ever in the world. I played Uncharted 4 maybe 3 times, and I love that stuff. So I'm excited to see what CD Projekt does because they have a really good, franchise. They have really good reviews. They've never really put out a game that's really been bad. aka Witchers have always been a good series, always been really good, always been promising. Good at DLCs, don't overcharge. But I'm really excited about the CD Projekt, and I feel like they're gonna make this game really good. If that's what it is, then I'm pretty sure I don't see CD Projekt investing into a game that's not going to be one of the nominations for best game of the year. Believe it or not, but
A lot of the really good things about this game, though, is the AI and the technology that they give you in the game are incredible.
Dude, yeah,
there are entire missions where you're just trying to get one machine that can do one specific special task, rewinding people's minds through an implant that you can then re-see the entire scene, sort of like Arkham Knight style, except you actually see it from their point of view and every point of view in the building and feel what they're feeling at the time.
The tech looks like the upgrade path of the weapons and shit looks so cool. Like they look the expansiveness of the abilities.
Single situation. There's I'm pretty sure there's lots and lots of ways that they designed that you can even play the game without doing any combat.
That makes